Welcome to another video. So you guys all voted for how to tell different talented players. I did ask the question and gave you 3 options in my community tab. As you can see, 78% of you said voted for how to tell talented players, so I will explain. The first thing that you need to know is obviously how to find fast trainers. Now if you're at lower levels, obviously the value of players in the market are all different. If you're higher up, obviously a lot of the value of players are the same, so it's harder to tell at higher levels, but lower levels it's a lot easier. Right, if you look at this diagram, you look for the highest value of that particular age. Now if you look at the 20-year-olds, you see the one that I've circled as the higher value. This is potentially a fast trainer. Now if you look at these other two that are age 22, they both have high values of the same, so these two are potentially a fast trainer. So now we've recapped on fast trainers, the next thing in order to tell the difference in talented players is using certain drills. Now the best drill to train a special ability or new position is gym. So we put 6 times gym as a training. Now obviously my training level and drill level are both maximum, but if you don't have your training level maximum, it's best to try and get gym world class, which is the highest for the set of drills, as it does make it a lot easier to tell fast trainers and talented players when training. Now once you've done all this, there is 4 types of talented players. We have extremely talented, talented, average talented, and below average talented. These are the 4 different types of players that you can find as fast trainers. Now in order to do this, just follow the couple of steps beforehand, and then when it comes to training, when you train a special ability or a new position, you'll see trainings like this. Now just before I go into explaining how to tell talented players, this method has been tested on players in the market between the rating of 80% to 99%. To find talented players at lower value, it gets a bit more complicated, which I will explain in a future video. And one final thing before we get into it, you need to know and understand the drop rate of each special ability point or position point. What do I mean by drop rate? I mean the percentage of condition used between the first special ability point to the second special ability point, because the percentage difference between each drop of the point can tell you exactly what player you have. Now this is the percentage difference in the drop rates between the first point to the second point of the special ability or position, and this will determine the type of talented player you have. Now we'll start with a below average talented player. Now as you can see by this training, I only have 1 drop point. Now if you remember by the percentages I showed earlier, a below average will have 22 and above condition percentage loss. Now what we do is we count the percentage of each drill that has not had a drop. So as we've only got 5 drills that has not received a point, we would count all them up and times it by 3.75%, because 3.75% is what one gym is worth on condition loss, which will come to around 18%, but obviously we would train again to find out when the next drop would be and would continue. So now the next person we look at is an average trainer. As you can see, he dropped at the first drill and the 6th drill. So now we take the 3.5%, which is obviously one gym, and we times it by 5. Why 5? Because 4 of them did not receive a drop point, but the 6th position, which would be the 5th one we add to the calculation, did. So 3.75 times 5 would be 18.75%, which would make him an average talented player. Now the next one we'll look at will be a talented player. Now if you look at this set of training, you can see the player dropped in the 2nd and the 6th positions. So again, we take the 3.5% and times it by 4, which is the 3 positions that didn't drop and the last position that dropped. So the 3.75 times by 4 would be 15%, which would make him a talented player. So for the last bit, to find players like this and players like this, the rare, extremely talented players in top 11. Now, as before, you just do the same thing as we've previously done, and I'll show you what to expect on the set of drills. So as you can see on this final one, the player dropped on the 3rd position and on the 6th position, so that leaves position 4, position 5 and position 6 that we times by 3.75, which will come to a total of 11.25, which makes him an extremely talented player. Now these type of players are rare, and if you do get them, you'll end up having a very talented player which will score a lot of goals, do a lot of assists. Of course, you need to train it properly to continue this run, but I have one of these players currently on my 2nd account, which has been a top goal scorer ever since the age of 18. I hope this information has helped and opened your eyes to find better players, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on them notifications so you'll know exactly when I upload another video, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of the match and goodbye.